Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the GearBox Intraday call. We are going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today's call is going to be short and informative. As always, we're going to get right into it and talk about the market, the week ahead, what's going on. So give me a second here, and I am going to pull up our disclaimer, and we will get right into this call. Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin and utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. Before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or use any of our software or alerts products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, your level of experience, and your risk tolerance. There's a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest or trade any capital that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime LLC does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority. If you are sharing any of your results from using GearBox, which is only allowed in our designated Facebook groups, please do not use the term company recommended settings. Auvoria Prime does not have any recommended settings. Auvoria Prime is not a financial advisory firm. Auvoria Prime just licenses software that users can use however they want at their own risk and discretion. GearBox does come without the box settings upon initial setup, which customers have the ability to customize however they'd like. Auvoria Prime has nothing to do with the customer's broker account and does not solicit or take investments. No brokers are recommended. Again, Auvoria Prime just licenses software and sells amazing education that users can learn and potentially benefit from. Any settings I'm sharing are developer settings and not company recommended settings. This call is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about what is actual intraday mode. How does it all work? I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my VPS here. All right, let's go ahead and share screens again here. And let's talk about what is exactly intraday mode. How does intraday mode work? Well, the first thing to understand is exactly what is intraday mode. And let me see if I can make this here VPS a little smaller. Awesome. So the first thing to understand about what is intraday mode, you have two modes. You have your instant entry and your skip a level strategy. Now, depending on how you're trading or what your risk management strategies may be, may determine how you decide that you want to use GearBox. Now, with intraday, you're going to have the instant entry strategy that is going to be just choosing, depending on your balance. If you had $3,000, you would choose 3 pairs. Now, you see that there are a few pairs to choose between. All right, you have 6 pairs in total that you can choose between for intraday modes. And with instant entry, you're only ever going to run 3 at once. Now, with skip a level, you can scan 6 pairs at once, but you're only going to want to trade 3 at a single given time. So you'll notice that, and how that works is essentially as simple as you just opening those currency pairs up, all these different charts right here, AUD, NZD, CAD, CHF, USD, CAD, NZD, CHF, Euro, JPY, Euro, USD, opening them up, putting your settings into your GearBox manager, and then going ahead and applying your strategy to all the charts. Now, again, intraday strategies are a more hands-on strategy. They do get a little more action than our traditional precision mode strategies, but they are not a fully hands-off strategy where you can walk away and never look at it, right? That tends to be more along the lines of precision modes. Whereas when you're using intraday modes, it's very important that you pay attention to the market. You're looking at your software a few times a week. You're looking at large red folder news events to try to avoid them or get out of trades before they happen. And same with skip a level. Now, these are great strategies. People are having a lot of success with them using these strategies, but as always, they are a more hands-on approach to this market, to GearBox, to using the product, and really everything going on. So if you're a user who's using intraday mode, go ahead and let me know in the chat box how you've been doing. You've been making a profit? Are you in drawdown? What's your experience been like so far with intraday? I do know that this call is always a smaller call on the intraday side. Precision modes, we tend to get a little more action always on the weekly calls. But I would like to hear from those of you who do tune into these calls weekly. How are you doing, right? How have your experience been using the intraday modes? Are you enjoying it? Is there more you'd like to learn about it? Are there other pairs maybe you'd like to run? Go ahead and just let me know what is going on for you guys. And then for me, I want to talk a little bit more in depth on the market, the pairs, why we use these pairs. So just give me a second here. All right. So a lot of people always ask, how did we get a hold of these pairs? Why are we using these pairs for intraday modes? Why are we not using this pair or that pair for intraday mode? And I want to talk about that. It's a very important topic. So what you're going to see here is known as the Forex average daily range table. All right. And so when we take a look at this table, just to make it make a little more sense, when we take a look at this table, you'll see if we wanted to arrange by the shortest ones, really when you're using intraday modes, you're looking to run on pairs that do not have a lot of volatility. They have lower average daily ranges where they range more, because that's where, you make your money in intraday mode, is kind of when things just go like this. Whereas precision, you kind of make your money when something trends, and then you catch the end of the trend and catch a reversal and make all those pips. Whereas intraday, you're really looking to play these ranges in the market. So we want to play with pairs that have lower average daily ranges. For example, GBP/NCD would not be a good pair to run on intraday mode. You might make a lot of money because it's very active, but you also, if it trends against you, are going to lose a bunch of money. So you want to be able to avoid situations like that within the intraday strategies. So that's why we tend to choose the pairs that we've chosen, as they are lower ranging pairs. And maybe you want to be experimental and test some other lower ranging pairs. You can see here's a great list of pairs that we are trading and why we use them, and within the instant entry and intraday strategies that we've been using here. So I hope this gives you a little more education as to why, these pairs, right? Why did we choose these? This came from a level of back testing data, a level of forward testing data, and a level of actually analyzing average daily range data to see what really does work well time and time again when it comes to the ranging markets in intraday mode. Now, let me see if we have any comments here going on in the chat. Not seeing any comments. Awesome. Then we're going to get right into then discussing the week ahead, the news. Intraday is a very simple mode. There's not too much to discuss or data to discuss like precision always, as we are using not that many pairs. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull up our Forex factory for the week here. And we are going to take a look at the week ahead. So we'll see that there are German federal elections on Sunday. That could obviously make some different effects in the European markets and Euro news. Moving on into the week, we literally have a pretty calm week. We don't have a single red folder all the way until Friday. So what that tells me is this is a great week for intraday modes, and it might be a slower week for our precision modes. So those are some of the things to take into account, to look at, is that it could be a slower week for these different modes, these different things that are going on. So we'll want to make sure that, hey, we're playing the ranging markets. We're understanding that there's not a lot of volatility this week, which is great for intraday mode. And if you are using precision mode, then, maybe expect to run on swing or something instead of sniper, because it's not looking like there's going to be a lot of volatility when you don't really get too many red folder news events here. Great question. Any thoughts on removing CHF pairs because of a lot of brokers changing leverage? We've talked about it, and it's kind of up to you. Every broker is a little bit different in regards to how they're operating. So I would get with your broker, and if they are on the lower leverage for CHF pairs, you could remove them, absolutely. Many of the brokers I'm using did lower, but have also since raised back, I believe, to 1 in 100. And 1 in 100 is feasible for CHF pairs. Recommendations on alternative pairs. I would go to that same site here. I'll share my screen again that I was just showing you and take a look, okay, at what other pairs fit in that average daily range, right? So if we want to replace USD CHF and NZD CHF, okay, well, we can see that AUD NZD is a great contender. We can see NZD USD is a pretty all right contender. I avoid USD JPY like the Black Plague, even on precision modes, as a worst performing pair. So I wouldn't touch that one. I wouldn't touch CAD JPY. NZD CAD could be an all right performer. It does trend sometimes. AUD USD, not a bad one ever. It tends to perform pretty well. So I would just take a look at this and also look, okay, what tends to range the most? And then obviously this data can be misconstrued because one of these pairs could trend once a year and kill you on intraday mode. And they could look like they're still in a lower average daily range. So what you also want to do is also go take a look at a chart when analyzing this data. They, for example, something like Trading View, right? So if we go over here to Trading View, let's just say we wanted to take a look at USD JPY because we don't want to run this one. This is one of those ones where it looks like it could be good, but I consider USD JPY like the Black Plague. And, if you decided to, oops, that's not what I was looking to do. You wanted to zoom out here, right? And we're on the daily time frame already. I'm not sure why it's not letting me zoom out like I want to zoom. But the point is, in going through this chart, to then go back in history and look for giant dips and ranges, right? So like, for example, here, we could look at this move right here and go, okay, that's just not acceptable, right? We would not have had fun during this move from 102, and this is March of 102, all the way up to 111. If you were in this move, you would not have been a happy camper if you were in a sell. Because even though it came down a bit, it never really made it to a point where it could have reversed fully. And you probably would have gotten stuck in that trade all the way until somewhere around here. Let's say you took a sell for any reason here. Obviously it's not the best spot to take a sell, but let's just say, for example, your intraday account did take a sell. You would not have had very much fun, as you would have ran up here, gotten stuck in a ton of drawdown, ran some stop losses, lost some money, and you probably would have gotten back out of the trade around here somewhere, and hit a TP. So the point in showing you that is that took all the way to August from March, right? So you also can go to TradingView, analyze some of these pairs, look at some data, and make decisions that, maybe that also isn't a good pair, no matter what the average daily range here says. That pair is way too volatile. So that's why I avoid USD JPY like the Black Plague. And also, I hope that's informative in helping you take a look at some of these pairs and making your own informative decisions on how to run them. But with that being said, that is it for me on our intraday call. Like I said, intradays are always pretty short and sweet. As a reminder, again, it's a pretty solid, week. Not a lot of red folder news. It's a great week for intraday modes, I'd say. And for precision modes, definitely if you're on the higher end levels like Sniper, don't expect any trades. Swing, maybe. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, wherever you may be in the world. And I look forward to seeing you all on tomorrow's Precision Call, as always. Thank you again all for tuning in with me this morning and always being here live. I appreciate it. And I appreciate every single one of you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.